In April 2016, there will be a referendum in my country, the Netherlands, about the association treaty between the EU and Ukraine. And I would like to give my opinion about that. I'm Dutch, live in the Netherlands, and have no personal or business relations with Ukraine or Ukrainians. I'm a strong supporter of Ukraine because I generally support freedom and justice. But I'm afraid that a rather large majority of the Dutch voters will vote against the association treaty. An often heard reason is that people are afraid that the association treaty is the first step to Ukraine's membership to the EU, which they won't be able to stop if they don't do it now, many apparently believe. And that with Ukraine, the EU will import a corrupt country, trouble with Russia, and high costs. People don't want that. Furthermore, people are angry that the EU still hasn't solved the refugee crisis, that the euro costed them a lot of money because of Greece, and that again nothing was asked to them in the run-up to the treaty. In their eyes, again a confirmation that the EU is undemocratic and an imperialist monster. That this treaty itself has nothing to do with all of this, and that the degree of democracy within the EU is comparable, or sometimes even better, to most national democracies, they simply don't see nor believe. After having been the victim of corrupt politicians for so long, or of reformers who didn't want to share power after the first revolution, after having been the victim of Russian aggression, in which Europe largely left Ukraine alone, Ukraine will now become the victim of a huge rise in nationalism in EU member states, of which the coming rejection in the Netherlands of the association treaty will be a result. This is very sad and very unfair, but I am afraid that this is about to happen. The road to freedom and justice for Ukraine is long and bumpy, but given the tremendous strength and courage of the Ukrainian people, I am sure that Ukraine will find a way to its final destination, freedom and justice. And what about EU countries like mine? We are standing at the gates of hell. And I'll tell you what, we deserve it. If you analyze the ideology of right-wing populism, which is so very popular right now at the continent, every day a little bit more, and compare it with the fascist ideology of the 1930s, you will find that they are the same. They only have different scapegoats. In the 1930s, the external enemy was Bolshevism or other European countries. Now it is the EU and what it stands for, the euro for example. The internal enemy were socialists and Jews. Now it are the leftist elites and Muslims. Most these populist parties are built around one man or one woman with very limited internal party democracy. Most of these movements consider those who do not agree with them as dangerous people and traitors, so they're very intolerant, like in the 30s. All these movements are nationalist and believe that if you only care about your own national self-interest, you are better off. They forget that the neighbor will do the same at their expense, both being the loser. Really, people, right-wing populism is copy-paste fascism. We are entering very dangerous times.